So, one of the worst kept secrets going around has finally been confirmed. Microsoft has announced their Xbox Game Showcase on July 23rd at 9 a.m. Pacific. Now, of course, we'll be live streaming the event on this channel, so check it out and come and hang out with me if you're interested in doing so. But I think the event itself will be an interesting show. Now, remember a few months ago, back in May, we saw the Future of Xbox event that didn't really present very well, mostly in the gameplay, or should I say lack of gameplay department. Microsoft themselves acknowledged the event didn't really go well as they would have hoped, and I think they've certainly learnt some lessons from that. And since then, obviously, we've seen the Sony presentation that announced their next generation of games and a look at the PlayStation 5 console, albeit in a rendering capacity. Now, on the July 23rd Microsoft event, this one should be a lot more focused and it will be a much better show. This time around, we're going to hear from many, probably not all, but many of the 15 first-party game studios that have been working on games for the Xbox Series X and next generation. And we'll see what they have in store for us for the Series X. Now, this will be a digital-only event, which means it'll be pre-recorded, and right now it's unclear about the length of the show, but I would probably say it's going to be about an hour long. But here are some of the things that we do know about, and I want to talk about, what we know, what we have a pretty good understanding of what we think is going to happen, and some guesses along the way as well. But first things first, the elephant in the room has to be 343 Studios and Halo Infinite. It's a confirmed title for the show, and it will make its gameplay debut. Now, Halo Infinite is set to release later this year for the next generation, as well as existing generation of Xbox hardware. And it seems like 343 have had struggles along the way, with this development process. But what I think is going to happen here is we're going to see a very impressive showcase for the game. Now, my understanding is that there is a ton of resources that have been thrown at Halo Infinite to get the game ready for launch later this year. And I do think it will be a standout for the show. And probably it will open the show in a cold opening fashion, or close out the show. Either way, it's going to be big, and I think it's really going to show us that Halo is back. We're back with Halo after Halo 5 was a bit of a misstep. But Halo Infinite aside, what else should we expect? And that's where we have to start, speculating and coming up with some predictions. Now, Microsoft is in a solid position, with its 15 first parties, to have a solid and really big show. But I think the next big rumor that's going around has to be Playground Games and a new Fable game that will be announced. Now, back in 2018, there were rumors of Fable 4 that was being in development, and Phil Spencer himself even implied it was something that was real back at E3, which kind of fueled speculation about the next Fable game. Now, recently, Microsoft has extended its Fable trademark, as well as those kind of cryptic Twitter placeholders that we saw a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident we'll see a new Fable game announcement, and possibly a launch window title. Maybe it will be something that we'll see, in February or March of 2021, but it will kind of fit into that launch window of the next generation, and it will be interesting to see how it's received. Someone like myself, I've been a massive Fable fan since its inception on the original Xbox back in 2004, but the reality is it's been 10 years since Fable 3. 10 years, guys. I mean, in 2014, we saw Fable Anniversary, but since then, we've really haven't seen anything. The game has effectively been put on hiatus. I think the difficulty I have with Fable is really bringing in new fans of the genre. The old school, the old guard like myself, I'm going to buy that game no matter what because it's Fable, and hopefully it will be a good experience. And I think Playground will really provide us with that, but it's really about getting the newer fans on board with Fable, because right now it's a genre that kind of sits in no man's land, and I really do think it needs to show well at the event, and I think it will. Playground, obviously, with Forza Horizon, are really good at this kind of stuff, so I think we'll see a good showing of the next Fable game, and I think, Playground will deliver the goods here on this one. Now, the other big rumor is the Initiative and what they're working on. There is massive speculation and rumor that it's a new Perfect Dark game. There was a tweet going around that the Initiative was working on an unannounced Unreal Engine 4 project that featured various weapons, gadgets, camera surveillance systems, and other things like that. Now, I gotta admit, I'm a little on the fence about this one. Perfect Dark Zero, released back in 2005. I mean, it's been 15 years, and I do question whether, if Perfect Dark is the game that the Initiative is actually working on rather than a brand new IP. And the rumors are strong on this one for being a Perfect Dark game, and I would personally love to see a Perfect Dark appearance on the Series X. But what do you guys think about this one? This one is a little sketchy for me. I'm not sure if it's a Perfect Dark game or not, but again, kind of like the Fable thing, I really feel like they have to sell this to a new audience, and it has to really show very well. Again, the old guard, the old fans of Rare and Microsoft and Nintendo will really appreciate Perfect Dark, but for the rest of us, it's been 15 years. Are you actually interested in what Perfect Dark has to offer? And I think that the Initiative, if it is indeed a Perfect Dark game, really has to bring something really solid, to this presentation. So if I was to speculate what I think this is, I don't think it's a Perfect Dark game. I think it's a brand new IP that we'll see from the Initiative, but we'll see how that one plays out. Now, speaking of Perfect Dark and Rare will be at this show, and they showed off Everwild back in November of 2019, and I expect to see a closer look at what's going on with the Everwild game. It may possibly get a date for 2021, but I do think Everwild will definitely have an appearance at this show, and I think Everwild looks like a pretty cool game, and it's definitely one that I'd be very interested to check out on the next generation of Xbox hardware. Now that brings us to Ninja Theory. We've seen glimpses of Hellblade 2 at the Game Awards, which unveiled the Series X itself, and that had a lot of hype around it. And earlier this year, don't forget, we saw a teaser of the Project Mara that was being shown as well, running on Next Generation. But I do think we'll see more of Hellblade 2 at the show, possibly with some in-engine, gameplay, and I think it will really show off the power and performance of the Series X. However, this one has me a little conflicted because I don't think we're going to see a date for Hellblade 2 at the show attached to this. And I say that because Ninja Theory themselves had revealed recently they were looking to transition Hellblade 2 to Unreal Engine 5. And obviously this is, cutting edge technology, and Epic themselves let us know that the first UE5 engine game would be an update to Fortnite. So I wouldn't expect to see Hellblade 2 for a while, until maybe late 2021 or early 2022. So I do think Ninja Theory will show us more of Hellblade 2, but I don't necessarily think it will be of any substance. It'll probably show us what's being developed and what's coming, but again, I don't think the game is anywhere near completion, and I definitely think there will not be a date associated with what Hellblade 2 is all about at this time. Now, Double Fine Studios will show us Psychonauts 2. The game was delayed when Double Fine was acquired by Microsoft, so there was kind of a delay there. That wasn't really a big deal, but I expect to see this game at the show, and I would imagine a 2020 date attached to it. It will be running on Series X hardware with all the bells and whistles, and I think Double Fine will really kind of have a good showing at this presentation. Now, the Coalition will be at this show as well, and they'll probably unveil a Series X enhanced Gears 5 that will be available via smart delivery, and possibly tease us with what's next in the Gears franchise, and maybe some technical showcase, or maybe a trailer of what's to come. But I think that will be exciting for Gears fans, and that Series X patch of Gears 5 will really be something cool to see when the Series X launches. Now, Turn 10 will be at the show and will show off the next iteration of Forza Motorsport. It will be more of a technical showcase of the game, and I don't believe we'll see anything from Forza probably until holiday 2021 or maybe early 2022. But essentially what I think we'll see here is Forza Motorsport 8 with ray tracing, 4K 60, or maybe 1440p or 1080p at 120 hertz, and it will be that technical showcase of power of the Series X in the same way when Forza 5 was released back for the Xbox One VCR in 2013. No one thought it was possible, but it was running at 1080p at a lock 60, and I think it will be a very similar kind of showing here. And if you remember the Gran Turismo 7 trailer that was shown at the PlayStation 5 event, I think we'll see something very similar to that. Now, we saw what Digital Foundry had shown us with Minecraft with ray tracing on the Series X. I think we'll definitely see Mojang Studios show us Minecraft with ray tracing, and possibly something that will be an update during the launch window as a smart delivery update or something similar. But we'll definitely see something from Minecraft at this show, as it's one of the most popular IPs that's been going around at the time. So some final thoughts. Will we see more of the Series X hardware at this show? Will we see the rumored Lockhart system? The answer is no. This is a games event only. Everything to do with the Series X, the pricing, the Lockhart unveiling, the price around that is all happening in August. And I think everything is going to go down with Sony in August. Both companies are going to unveil the pricing around their systems. Microsoft is going to unveil the Lockhart system, how much that's going to cost, and finally I think we'll start to see pre-orders open up around August for the next generation. But for this show, I don't expect to see anything to do with hardware whatsoever. This is going to be all about the games. This is Microsoft's response to Sony, and it's going to deliver a 1-2 punch back to them and let them know, hey, we've got our own list of really awesome games, so don't sleep on us. We've got the better hardware, and we're really going to come to next generation all guns blazing. But there are my thoughts on the speculation about what I think the Series X presentation is going to be. But let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. I definitely want to hear your thoughts. As always, guys, if you like this video, leave me a thumbs up, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.